What's up, YouTube? I'm back today with Jack, who last week at Melksham Regionals came, was it 10th or 11th?
11th.
11th. What were your matchups that
Played a few Snake Eye, played a couple of weird janky stuff, played Chain Burn. Did alright. So 11th is X2. I've made some changes to the list since then, so I figured I'd do the updated one, but none of the changes would have affected any of my games. But yeah, I think I did quite well. Bear in mind I've only been playing the deck for a couple of weeks. I was quite happy with how I did. I know, yeah,
Yeah, go for it. How was your locals today with it?
Locals went alright. My only losses were to D-Barrier and Rivalry of Warlords. So X2 again, but Rivalry's at 1, but my opponent didn't get the memo and drew it twice, so you know.
Yeah.
That's alright, it happens. But yeah, I'll get into the deck list. So I'm playing 60 card variant.
60 cards.
Yeah, with like, you get to play like Pop Desires and stuff like that. So like, the thing is with the Desires variant, and like I've been thinking about this ever since I picked up the deck like 3-4 weeks ago, that this deck feels like it should be a Desires deck, because like any of the one-offs you banish you can work around. But the deck's already at 50 cards, and to play Desires, you'd have to bump up to 60, and then ratios get really weird. It took a while to work out the ratios for this. Yeah, also shout out to Pack, because he did a 60 card list as well. And the ratio is actually very similar, so we came to a lot of the same conclusions. But some stuff I didn't come to, like Triple Trag, which is on Pack's list, which I adopted from there. But the core of the deck's very similar. So yeah, anyway, I'll get into it. So I played 3 Aliber, 3 Branded Fusion, 3 Branded Opening, 3 Fall of an Owlbears, 3 Cartesia, 3 Fusion Deployment, 3 Albion, 2 Quem. I'm just playing the second Quem because of Desires. I was playing 1 for quite a while, but like the second Quem sometimes comes up when you get like Nibble and grind games. And like at 60 you can justify it. I think at lower deck counts it's harder to justify. But I really like 2 Quem in this build. Triple Tragedy. I was finding with Allure that Allure is like not very consistent. Especially at 60, and this deck plays like a lot of spells. Turns out Triple Tragedy is the key to making Allure just consistent enough that you can justify it. And of course, you know, we have a lot of ways to trigger it, and it's grand game in itself. By being able to banish and graveyard the set. I played 1 Adlib, triple Branded in red, Branded Lost, Branded White, and Retribution. So a lot's very standard, just maxing out on engine. This card's very good, Upstart, Foolish Burial. This deck draws a lot, it loses to draw, but you know, your opponent has to have that. And you're just playing like max of every card you want to see, basically. And then like triple Branded in red's cool, because if you're playing Desires, like a lot of times you go through 2, losing one can be a death sentence if like in really grindy games. So I really like 3 of this, especially in combination with like with Albion and stuff like that. But yeah, strong card. Branded in white. So this used to be a Branded in High Spirits, but like I worked out. The hands where Branded in High Spirits are good, Branded in White is just as good, if not better, because this can be like used as a poly, it can make like just about everything. You just have to use a dragon as material, you don't have to like go into a dragon or go into anything. So like the hands Branded in High Spirits are good is when you draw like Aliber plus Branded Fusion plus Fall of Owlbears, and instead of adding the Lost off of instead of adding the Lost of the Aliber, you added High Spirits, because if your Branded Fusion got Ash, you could still High Spirits on a good board. Branded in White still lets you make a good board through that, and this card's better going second because it's a poly spell. And this is cross searchable, which is quite relevant as well. So it's like the Branded combo engine parts, and then the weird ones you have to play are like Lubellion, Serenair, and Mercuria. This to set up Branded Lost, this for like weird, if you've opened Albion, you have to like get to Branded Fusion weirdly through Retribution. Yeah, so that's like the core Branded engine, and what takes up the most space in the deck, of course. And then next is the Patchwork engine. The Patchwork engine was the hardest part to make work with Desires, because I didn't really want to play like 3 chain. And it feels weird to me that a lot of lists are playing like 2-2-1 or 2-2-2 the ratios, because like Every time I draw this helps me just like crack through a board. It like makes Guardian Chimera, makes whatever. And if you play extra of these cards, it's follow up as well. So if you start with Patchwork, you can then fuse with the Chain, and then add a Patchwork, and then you still have a live Patchwork the next turn. So you can like Guardian Chimera on your following turn as well if you don't Guardian Chimera on their turn. But of course you have to play these ratios to justify desires, because you can't play like 2/2/1, like lose a poly or like lose a chain. So you play like 2 chain and you discard 1, add Patchwork, you desires banish this, Patchwork's dead. So you have to play like max of the engine pass. But like it doesn't feel bad to do so. These cards just are very strong in like playing through interruptions, setting up a board. Every time you draw like Patchwork, even if you don't have a way to get like Fallen Albers engraved, for example, you can get like, it's not bad to just like hard poly Ecclesia off wherever Ecclesia is. It's not bad to like hard poly with Ecclesia and the Agent Chain to make Grand, to like play through hand traps. So yeah, there's that. And then sort of like the consistency, draw engine stuff, triple allure, triple desires. Yeah, cards are crazy. And then the non-engine, triple droplet, triple thrust, triple talents, triple fusion, not just one fusion do. You honestly don't need any more to like break a board or play through a board. Yeah, at least that's like good enough going first in the game 1. Your engine can push through a lot of boards, and as long as you have a way to sort of like get through the Appaloosa, you break a Snake Eye board. So yeah, there's that. So that's the main deck. And then extra deck is almost standard. And one thing I would sort of want to point out as well is that I'm not playing the Puppet Lock. So Puppet just feels quite bad to me. I'm sure some people might disagree, but Puppet needs a lot of resources to get going. So like you need to resolve Grang, you need to like resolve Brandon in red, or like resolve a way to get to Sanctifier. And it feels like every time I could have Puppet locked, I had like Mirror Jade, Guardian Chimera, bring back the Mirror Jade, wreck their board anyway, and just interact with the branded cards. And that felt a lot stronger, and a lot sort of like less predictable and harder to play through compared to just like cool buying your Puppet. There's obviously ways to play for like cool buy and Puppet with branded and lost, but it just feels like it lost to less by going to this board, because there's it's just a lot more flexible in what interruptions you can put up. But yeah, extra deck, Albion, Rebellion, Double Mirror Jade, Titaniclad, Rin Broom, and because I wasn't on Puppet Lock at all, I didn't play the Sanctifier. This technically makes your deck really weak to evenly matched, but like evenly's not super in the format, so I sort of just accepted that loss. If they had evenly, they were just better than me. So I wanted to play a second slot with a second Guardian Chimera, which I'm show you in a second. I guess you could cut a Grang, one of them, because 2 Grang doesn't come up as much if you're not like Puppet Locking, but it's still like 2 Grang. But if you wanted to play Sanctifier anyway and put Puppet Locking, it might be a Grang. If you put in Puppet Locking, you should play 2 Grang. So it'll be this. But like in this build specifically, if I wanted to put in Sanctifier, I'd probably cut a Grang for it. But it's getting banned anyway, so this is both harmless, you could say. Despia infusions. So I played Protus and Proskenian. I'm not maining the Masquerade. Reason being is like the burn effect does come up, but what I like more is the Quiritis. This checks the Appaloosa, so you summon it, like you poly it out or you do whatever, and now whenever the Appaloosa negate, you chain this and Appaloosa goes to 0, and you just resolve all your stuff through Appaloosa. And they can't Princess or SP this either, because if they do, it floats into Fall of Albaz, or floats into Alaba and gets a pluses that way. Proskenian's really important for the stopping the OTK line from Snake Eye. So when I play Snake Eye, like I make it an absolute priority to get Grang in graveyard, and then when they do the banish, when they do the I don't have the cards on me, but when they do the Raging Phoenix, Zealantis line, there's Zealantis your board. They'll go Princess, target something random they have, and go on your board. You go chain it to Grang to summon. Princess comes out. I don't know if you can see that, but Princess comes out. Grind resolves, summoning Proskenion, and then they'll go Raging Phoenix, effect to summon, and you Proskenion either banish or summon the Raging Phoenix, depending on what you want to do. So let's say we summon the Raging Phoenix, and it completely stops their ATK, because now they've got a 3/2 guy, they have to pop. If you've got Branded Opening on field, they can't pop it, and they've got this 2/7 guy they have to get through as well. I do like banishing it, because like it can be a bit hard to game through because it's so big. But like if you need to summon it, you can summon it, and all they've got is double pop, get rid of both, you know. Swing for 5/2 at most, so they need a lot more to put you through it, especially if you've got like other monsters on board as well. So that's why Proskenion is so important. And then next is Dragus Despia, just a nice negate, Magnum the Reliever, and double Guardian Chimera. So I really like double Guardian Chimera in this deck. You just Guardian Chimera on your opponent's turn, you Guardian Chimera on the crackback. When you're breaking the board, you use one to break the board, one to interrupt your opponent. I really miss the second whenever I cut it, although a lot of lists play one anyway, but like this card comes up too much for me. The one thing I'm also missing in my extra deck is the, or like I wish I played in this extra deck, is the Borrowload Boral Furious, because that lets you play under Rivalry, which otherwise you don't really have else to, and that lets me get to play at locals.
But then to be fair, Rivalry is a one-off though, isn't it?
It is a one-off,
so
you know.
you can't play everything.
Yeah, they always said they wouldn't draw it 2 games in a row, you know.
I mean, to be fair, if you ask nicely, they might put the extra deck to 16 cards.
Oh, true. Kind of need that, to be honest. This deck has 15 extra decks in general. There's so much you have to play. Speaking of which, the side deck, I played 1 Masquerade for time. Yeah. Triple Phantasme. When you go in second, you put this in against Snake Eye. Targeting protection, it draws cards, helps you break boards. Magnum, Druisworm. This card's like whatever, but like if you draw like the one of Magnum in 60 and you have the Druisworm and you have Poly to go with it, you know, you're great. But like, you can't really justify playing a lot of Bystials in this deck. Especially even for the mirror, where like if the mirror is puppet locking you and you lose die roll, you do lose the match. But like, there's not much you can do about it because yeah, you'd have to play like 8 or 9 Bystials minimum to like reliably draw 1 in 60, and even then 1 Bystial is probably not going to stop the puppet lock. So like, I think you just accept you're getting puppet locked if you lose a die roll and hope they break. And likewise, in the branded mirror, your opponent's hoping that you've bricked as well because they don't play hand draft either. So you know, Shadow Dragon. So this is in engine out to summon on it. Dark Ruler for like Oyster's Voice or Snake Eye. Cosmic for the monkey decks. Also I put it in versus Fire King as well because like even though this doesn't really break the board because they obviously float into everything, summon everything back, what this does do is clear the Appaloosa. So it's just like it's another card that can clear the Appaloosa because that's really the only thing on the board you lose to. Harpies for Thrust and Branded Banishment for the mirror, so you can just super body that whole board. And that is it.
Is there any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to Bambuku Yugioh. Make sure you subscribe.
You also shout out to Brian as well.
Shout out to Brian.
He helped you with this deck, didn't he?
Shout out to Brian for telling me I shouldn't play Branded, it's bad. He didn't say that, I'm making that up for clout. But let's pretend he did. Yeah.
Thank you, Jack, for the deck profile. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. Cheers. Thank you for watching.